typically you see that silencer, with the Bat Riders or some kind of Blink Stunner that Liquid currently don't really have, because that's where you can kind of get the most out of the global silence. So,
how have you felt about Tiny so far in this tournament? He's been streaking a decent amount.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a bit inconsistent sometimes.
He's been definitely a fairly popular pick. I feel like he's top 20 most picked heroes or so. Like he's been picked quite a bit, at least 15 odd games or so. He seems 50-50-ish. Like I never feel like he's a weak core to be picking. He wins his lane the majority of times, which I think is a big reason why teams thought he'd be good coming into this tournament, because it's talked about as being such a lane-driven patch where win your lanes, win the game. It's this, you're back to this 2-on-2 meta where there's no safe lane, off lane. Every single lane is contested, and that's where Tiny theoretically can be very strong. And
he is pretty good this game too, because he can clear trees. A little bit of burst damage. I like pairing a Mirana who can more or less get a free smoke every once in a while and set up some really crucial kills is definitely great when you pair it with somebody like Tiny. So, and against a Silencer and Avenge now, that looks like 3 heroes as a Tiny player that are potentially food at many stages of the game. So I think Tiny was definitely a solid snag here.
Oh, Spectre, another global hero to go with the Nature's Prophet ultimate. Not that is really on Liquid's mind, I imagine, in picking this hero, although it is a nice little bit of micro synergy, but a very just strong carry from what we've seen.
They're global stratting him.
Yeah.
Prophet, Silencer, Spectre. I mean, they just need a Zeus now, right?
That's true. There's a Zeus missing, and what was the other one that often went in the global strat? You get like an Invoker or something for Sunstrike.
Yeah. Added benefit there. Spectre's been streaking quite a bit with EG at least. A lot of games they were picking in the first phase. They seem to know the ins and outs of the hero. Even when their opponents pick Spectre against them first phase, they knew how to beat it. So it might just be EG being better. But to see it come out here is no surprise. And as a hero, it's pretty good this game, I'd argue. You could go Mana Drain if you want to. Probably won't see that. Maybe just tank up Radiance kind of team fight stuff, or maybe a Vanguard Blade Mail to survive the early game, perhaps.
I think just playing around that tankiness with your Blade Mail dispersion and your damage output just by, you can go in the fight and die first. We saw that in some of the EG games. It was like Arteezy ran in, died to 4 heroes, but he got them all so low that Sumail, who was playing Storm in one of those games, just cleaned up. And Arteezy dying, led to his team getting like 3 or 4 kills. So the reliable damage output of Spectre is definitely one of the hero's strengths.
And here's one of their closer heroes that's going to allow them to pick off some big cores. Necrophos with something like a Veil, maybe a Hood, ends up being very tanky. They get a Blink later, maybe an Ags to allow them to kill heroes a little bit more often. And that's going to be somebody that can create some space for the rest of the team, at least until the Spectre gets tanky. With that said, before that moment, before Spectre is tanky, they don't have that much going for them survivability-wise past defensive swap, global silence, and then Necrophos's Ghost Shroud. And they are still pretty nuke heavy on the Mineski side, so
yeah, they're not
Necro feels a little vulnerable.
Yeah, it's not like their Necro pops Ghost Shroud and it's like, oh, you can't hurt me, you're all physical damage. Between Tiny's combo, Mirana nukes, CM, Wraith King, there's all, at least everyone has some magic damage.
But I guess with Global Silence and Ghost Shroud, you basically are invulnerable, though, is the one benefit. There's almost no way to die in those moments. So if Team Liquid can pick their fights in good ways, they absolutely can carry this to some momentum. But usually the counter to Spectre is like pressuring him in lane. Do you think the Mineski heroes are going to be able to handle that with what they have?
The support's pretty strong on Liquid side. We'll find out what the last hero's going to be. Okay, yeah, they definitely can pressure the Spectre. They just got an edge. That's one of the scarier, stronger laning heroes, I would say. And something that's been getting first picked in a lot of these games by certain teams and regions, e.g., most notably, S4 has been playing this whenever he can get his hands on it.
It's been really good, too. The amount of damage that you can output, as long as you have a good laning stage and you start transitioning into those typical Dragonlance, Hurricane Pike, Ags builds, nobody wants to focus you because you're hard to kill, and then you just turn your heal on and you go crazy staying alive, and then you just toss tons of damage in a team fight. As long as you're not the person that's focused, the hero can work really well. But that said, though, they do still have a Necrophos, so if she ever does get initiated on with a disable of some kind and lowered, she can be bursted quite rapidly. So I think Liquid does have some solutions. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world for them to take a moment to use some spells to burst Enchantress. But it's actually going to be a support Enchantress. Jab's going to be playing that one, so maybe less worth it.
Yeah, we'll likely see some amount of items in scaling. At least I would like to see it, because Enchantress, to me, one of the better heroes against Spectre because of the range factor. Spectre, with all your damage output from dispersion, is range-based, so the further away you are, the less damage you're taking, or if you're far enough away, you take none at all, and that's kind of Enchantress in a nutshell. Sit really far back and throw those impetuses. So I like the hero against Spectre, but we do need to see some farm if you want Jabs to be an actual big damage dealer.
And Mushi going to be playing a Tiny this game. He's been focusing a little bit more on like typical hard carries, so maybe a little bit more ganking focus this game, or maybe he will go more of a fighting build. Ice is going to be playing the Wraith King and Moon on the Mirana in the mid lane, looking like he's going to be up against Matoma Man, I guess, on the Necrophos.
Yeah, I don't imagine we see a mid-Spectre.
Or a mid-Prophet, there's almost no way, right? Surely you put that on Silence. There's not enough trees to make little friends from, you know?
Yeah, there's no... I mean, mid-Prophet has been done before, I guess. It's more where I'm just like, oh, I've seen that happen. It could theoretically make sense. But I agree, the mid-Necro is way more likely and sounds a whole lot better.
So the lanes are going to be super important here for both teams, really. And I think when you're up against a Spectre, the most important thing is that you end up having some kind of pressure on him so he doesn't get off to a great start. So big pressure from Mineski's side is, I think, what's going to be on the menu.
Alright, well, here we go. Lane's going to unravel. It's going to be Mineski playing on that dire side. A very important game for them. They still have to verse LGD as well as Liquid here, and they're already at a losing 4-6 record. They need to start putting up some wins if they want to get into that winner bracket of TI. As for Liquid, seeing a bit more comfortable. 5 wins, 3 losses. They just need to have some strong showings here on that last couple day of games to find themselves starting in the winner bracket, which is the main thing that matters. Whether they get first in the group or third or fourth, it's, it affects your matchup come playoffs time, but you just want to be in that winner bracket.
Yeah, but the high seed also is pretty significant because hypothetically you get first seed in the lower bracket and you're going to play against the worst team or the worst scoring team in the opposite side. Once in a while that'll end up being like Wings or something. You never know. But any advantageous seed is always going to help a bit. A little observer ward placed down here from Mineski trying to spot out the Liquid lanes because they want to get the right matchups. But so far, as of yet, I don't think they've spotted each other. We do see some treants moving across the map though. That means they are going to be able to tell on Liquid side a little earlier. If they fight over the bounties a little bit here. Liquid wanting to contest a bit, but they already have control of 2 runes on the opposite side of the map. This is the safer play. Maybe they could have gotten 3 there, but for all they know, there's maybe 3 or 4 Mineski heroes sitting around waiting for a first blood.
Yeah, you don't see anyone top, so like you say, you don't know how many heroes are down there. Play it safe, just take your 2 bounties, and focus on executing your game plan, which is going to be this strong, aggressive tri-lane up top, at least initially. Both GH and Kuro are looking to secure Miracle's early game farm on Spectre, and he is playing in what is traditionally the harder lane, as Mushi hiding in the trees, forced to TP actually down bottom. He doesn't want to mess around up top. He sees these 3 heroes and says, I am going to go deal with the Nature's Prophet. I've got the tree grab. I'm the guy who can actually fight the MP the best.
And normally when this happens, you end up seeing the carry walk across the map to get to the other lane faster for the lane swaps, but Mushi just going to be happy to go for the teleport. We'll see if Liquid ends up lane swap.
Ice immediately getting stunned up and daggered. He may just go down here. This could be an early first blood. He does turn and throw the stun underneath the tower, doing some good damage on a GH, and Jabs maybe close to getting this kill. He's very fast. He can look to chase down, but the Salve Clarity from GH will keep him in good fighting shape there. Ice getting some help from Jabs with that level 1 Nature's Attendant.
Yeah, I thought that was just going to be awful for Ice, but the fact that he got the stun under the tower was hugely impactful. Another stun on Enchantress here, but no follow-up as the creep wave is pushing, and in fact, Venge is going to lose a lot of health here.
And they can't really chase too much further. The curse is going to slow them down a little bit and also prevent them from wanting to cast too many more spells, so
there's a lot of trading, but ultimately this looks pretty good for Mineski for me, at least. Enchantress already picked up a level 2, so all of these early trades that are happening are just going to benefit them because of the attack speed reduction. They aren't pressuring Spectre though, so it's accomplishing some things, but not everything.
And the pure fact that it's a 2v3 lane where they're just trading, harass, and going kind of even speaks that the other lane should be going well because bottom is a 2v1, mid pure 1v1, but it's an okay matchup for the Mirana. Although at the same time, I'd say it's still maybe 60-40 Necro favored. He's just such a strong laner.
Trying to play around runes if needed. It's going to be an illusion. Not the best one to grab at the start of the game, but still worth grabbing for Matoma Man here. And keep in mind that at any moment, Nature's Prophet could teleport around the map and try to help out with some right clicks. Having the Blightstone is absolutely going to help there.
This is, I think, one of the strengths and why Nature's Prophet used to be played quite a lot is that you run these tri-lanes and then suddenly it turns it into like a 4v3 if there's a tri-lane versus tri-lane action, and Nature's Prophet can tip the scales. Would take him away from this bottom lane for a little bit, but you can always use your TP scroll to get back after using your teleportation skill.
Well, they're doing a pretty good job of zoning Miracle. He's not very harassed.
Bottom lane, they've gone in on Nature's Prophet. Avalanche tossed back, they have a Frostbite fold up, and that's going to be first blood. Mushi brings down mind control.
It's amazing how many levels they've gotten already. Crystal Maiden picking up 3 and having Frostbite available to interrupt the TP was really good timing. They've gotten plenty out of their lane. 15 and 5 on Mushi's side and CM 4-0. So yeah, they've gotten a lot of these creeps.
That was a very, very nice little pickup there. I believe, yeah, using some of these side camps here, getting lots of good denies. Top lane, they've gone back in for a little clash once more. It's the dual stuns coming out from the Radiant side, but that's not going to be enough here as Wraith King on full retreat. He will go down to Miracle.
Jeb's going to try to get the follow-up kill, though. It's going to be low. He's got a salve, though. And with the Skelly following, he's a little worried about getting interrupted.
It's stopping the salve, yeah.
Alright, he's going to be safe to do it now.
He actually is just going to go for TP's out while salving. That's a little bit surprising. He TP'd only back to his shrine, so he didn't go all the way back home. And very smart, he TP's to the shrine, because if he TP'd to his tier 1, I believe it would have been like a 5-second TP or something because of all the action there. Something most players just completely forget about when TPing the towers.
And he was actually just here to pick up the Ring of Health, so this was just a nice efficiency play for him. And I like that he rushed this pre-getting boots, because this is a bit of a scary lane, and as long as he keeps his health full most of the time, it's going to be his supports dying, not his hero, and ultimately that's more important than the opposite.
Yep. As far as the big picture goes, you can see the CS is looking pretty damn decent for Mineski, though. Yep. 3 lanes, all 3 of their core heroes getting farmed. Necro, the one hero on Liquid's side, who you could say, yeah, he's having a good time, he's having a good lane, whereas both Spectre and Nature's Prophet, while not getting completely shut down, aren't quite farming as well as Mineski.
Yeah, maybe they'll catch up in a moment here, but I mean, this is one of the big reasons that you usually...
Murata lift in, gets the kill mid. Nice rotation from Ninja Boogie.
Okay. But this is why you don't always want to do tri-lanes, is because the tri-lane usually helps you overwhelmingly win that one lane, but the other dual lane is going to be tough. And in this case, the dual lane is still doing very well.
Yep. Top lane. Stuns being exchanged between GH and Ice 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 as the dual lane continues to hold their own up here. And the really nice thing about to kind of expand upon that is that it's not even just the fact you've got a 2v1 lane. This support CM can rotate between mid and bottom. He's helping 2 lanes at once, and Enchantress barely staying alive will get the bounty room before potentially going down. Jab still might be okay here. Actually going to turn and fight here. The last word from the silencer. Is it going to be enough? Doesn't look like the damage is there, and he gets both bounty runes as well. Ninja Boogie getting the ones down bottom, and GH ends up going down to the shockwave spam coming out from Jabs. Great use of the enchant, and also some very fortunate neutral creep findings with the Satyr.
Mineski has actually been kind of owning with this dual lane, the Wraith King Enchantress, and we even saw the skeletons being used effectively. I mean, Liquid was getting really good benefit from Arcane Curse. I think he had that, Ice Ice had that Arcane Curse on him for like 15 seconds or something.
Gone in again on top. Miracle in all sorts of trouble. He's getting stunned and initiate on once more with the skeletons, and Jabs will finish him off with some right-click ploinks. Ninja Boogie actually TP's up top expecting a bigger clash. He was lurking around mid looking for another initiation onto Matu's Necrophos, doesn't find it.
It's fine he came though, because Jabs is able to use Enchant to grab the catapult from the enemy side.
Yeah,
so this is actually a huge push coming now.
Great
especially
time.
Once these skeletons end up aggroing.
Yep. This was meant to be the tri-lane Spectre, where you secure his farm, you tri-lane him and give him a good time, but that just has not been the case. It's going to bring the supports once again back up to this top lane to try and defend, but these
Liquid
double sieges are still on the tower.
And they have way more levels. 3 level 4 heroes versus 3 level 3, so that extra skill point can make the difference in these little engagements. But creep wave pushes past, which means it's going to be catapults tanking towers, and maybe a little Ice 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 tanking towers too.
Yeah, they glyphed there, but it was when the towers were actually hitting the heroes. They could have perhaps kept these siege creeps alive if they timed that glyph better, which was a bit of a mistake, but
either way, that's a lot of tower damage in a lane that's supposed to be an off lane. Maybe another kill in the safe lane, yeah. Prophet gets cleaned up with a Murata rotation here.
Nicely done. Mushi having a very good time with this favorable matchup and finding some kills. The CM of Ninja Boogie's just being moved around the map. At that time, you know, it's Moon. He's going down there to help out as well.
And even if Ninja Boogie isn't necessarily in the right place at the right time, at any moment he's giving everyone mana, which is going to go so far. Everybody needs it. Murata's going to cast Starstorms when possible. Tiny's got Avid Toss combos that are always going to outtrade with the Nature's Prophet. And we've seen plenty and plenty of Wraithfire Blast so far, all being valuable.
And even the big recent Ench nerfs were to the mana cost of the level 1 Nature's Attendant, but with CM Aura and the dual lane versus tri-lane and Magic 6 charges, there's never been any mana problems for Jabs, who's now going to find another initiation and another kill, brings down Kuro. 2v3, Mineski are just crushing this top lane. They're not stopping Spectre farming. Oh, first Reaper of the game going to come out as Necrophos looks for a kill. We'll end up bringing down Ninja Boogie, not perhaps the big kill he wanted with the Mirana, as Crystal Maiden.
I didn't catch the beginning of that. I'm guessing he leapt away at the same time that he got Reaper Scythe, maybe? Because it wasn't even close to 9, so it must have been just a nice reaction from Moon, which makes sense. This guy's almost always on top of things in the mid lane, wins almost many of his matchups, hasn't been doing the best this TI so far, but definitely still playing well.
Natu pressuring him all in this mid lane. Bottle Charge is going to be forced out by Moon to keep him alive behind his tower. This is laning against Necro, it's not fun. He's got all this sustain, all this constant spam. He starts to right-click hard now that he has phase boots, and even though you're a Mirana with some magic damage, that is not enough to ever really pose a threat on your own to kill him.
Jab's getting a D-ward on the cliff ward, so diving tower is going to be a bit easier, and placing knobs right next to the shrine is going to give him vision at all times of where Spectre's going to go, because he knows his lane is not very safe, and more Skellies spawned on the top lane. This tower looks like it's going to fall for sure.
Yeah, they didn't get it with the siege creeps, but they'll make sure they get the job done this time around. Spectre, no interest in defending, is actually just trying to get some jungle on Miracle though, and run into Jabs in the trees there. Jabs already level 6, so
that's so good.
The Impetus up, he gets a whole lot harder to deal with. He may be able to just solo kill the Venge behind the tier 1 tower, and back in the mid lane, Matu actually goes down. He popped the Ghost Drop, but the double Starstorm hits him and deletes him from the game for the next 25 seconds, as Crystal Maiden will be the price. Mind Control TPing in to clean that one up, but
might get Moon too.
Yeah, he leaps, but he's got this Arcane Curse on, so he's going to take a lot of damage, has 9 1 charges. Should be okay even without popping them. So he holds on to them as Mushi needs to be careful on mid.
It looks like
Spectre, wow, surviving on a sliver of HP on top. Can Ice 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 will finish him off as the action also continues to unfold back in the mid lane. It's going to be Mind Control, who's very low underneath the tower. He was looking for some additional fodder, but couldn't quite bring down anyone else on the Mineski side. So Miracle got a kill on Jabs with the help of GH before going down there. Not really worth it for the Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, any gold that he can get in levels are huge, because he does pick up 6 from this, so at least he can get in the game easier no matter where he is. And finally, their global strat's online, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, arrow not going to land on March in the mid lane. The Starstorm is there, though. Reaper coming out. Will it get the kill? Not quite. The stun's coming too late, but Necro will not get the kill. It's Miracle instead getting a double. Fantastic recovery for the Spectre, who just respawned. You talked about the global. That's what we're seeing here. These heroes can just be anywhere on the map so quickly. The Nature's Prophet TP, the Spectre haunt when it's up. Wraith King does not have ultimate here. He's being blocked by the treants after the Sprout. Great cleanup coming from Liquid in the mid lane. They get the tier 1 tower on top of it. Losing GH in the backlines there. Enchantress able to finish him off. I believe that must have been an Urn Charge ticking him down. Not the end of the world for the support though.
Almost finished him off with just impetus right click. Something else I forgot is that Enchant actually has a basic Dispel on it now. Completely slipped my mind, but he used it against the Necro to remove Ghost Shroud and make the kill a lot easier. So the Enchantress pick is just really paying off this game and looks fantastic.
One of the few rare Dispels in the game with the removal of several, or at least some of the easier to buy ones like the old Diffusal Blade. So very value against Necrophos.
So Mushi's still getting a lot of value out of his safe lane. He's picked up a Blink Dagger already, 2-0-1 on his game. Being very effective here, and it kind of looks like Liquid doesn't feel comfortable about surviving through a possible dive, which I do not blame them too much.
Yeah, I don't think they want to be too aggressive in defending their towers or playing on the map when there's a Tiny with a Blink Dagger this early on. Enchantress already has a VIP booster and is most of the way to a Spirit Vessel, which is another very effective way of playing against the Necrophos.
Yeah, that's a great point.
He wants to Ghost Shroud heal up if he's got Spirit Vessel on him. Those heals just aren't going to be anywhere near as effective. Even in team fights, if he's getting Reaper kills, he's just not going to benefit from those Death Pulse regen.
And the fun part is, like, they don't even have to worry about too many heroes right now. Necro's a little scary. Oh, Avatos coming out, Mind Control.
Almost brings him down, no Quelling Blade.
And he already used Tree Grab, so not going to be able to snag him there. Looked like he missed his Avatos a little, perhaps, but no kill. Kuro in trouble now, though.
Yep. Kuro has a sentry, but the observer was on the high ground and he didn't get a chance to go and check it. But the TP coming in, mind control, wants to turn and fight this one. There's going to be Crystal Maiden ultimate from Ninja Boogie. They need to bring him down as quickly as possible. Spectre, not the one who gets the last hit, but did help bring him down. Jabs is going to TP on out. Swap going to cancel it. Invis is there from the Mirana Moonlight Shadow, but the dust is going to stop this one from being too effective, and the chase is on. Jabs 2 points in untouchable. Get some help from Ice Ice Ice. The Wraithfire Blast into an arrow. Long stun coming out onto Miracle. Ice Ice Ice, he doesn't have his ultimate for 10 more seconds. He's going to be careful. He gets dusted as well. He's on full retreat here. Should be okay. They just don't quite have the damage to bring it down. And Mushi, he does not lack the damage. Turns around, gets in there with a combo, deletes Kuro from the game, and the chase is once again on from Mineski. These guys just don't know the word stop, retreat. They are just chasing for more kills. They want in, and they want to just keep on bullying Liquid as much as possible, knowing that this Spectre pick is just not going to be a good hero to fight with right now.
Yeah, he's queuing up a Ring of Regen, looking like he wants to finish a Hood to start the game. I think that's a good grab versus a Tiny. Otherwise, you have to always worry about getting one shot at the start of the fight, or if any disable lands on you, the enemies are going to fall up really rapidly. But, I mean, Mineski started off with a great laning stage. They're really pushing their advantage, but with that said, Liquid is still getting on the map, and they are making some trades. It doesn't always seem fantastic, but things could turn around in the next 10 or so minutes if they get a really good fight.
Yep. See if they can get that now. The next Haunt. Last time they had Haunt, they got those, what, 3 kills or so in the mid lane, just losing the support Venge. So with the Globals back online, theoretically we could see the next fight coming fairly soon from the Liquid side. Even a Spectre just with Phase Boots, Aquila, and Wand does pose a bit of a threat using that Haunt around the map with the max out Spectral Dagger.
Especially if he jumps in like halfway through the fight, goes on the Crystal Maiden, for example, when her abilities are down, then that's the best person for him to go for an easy kill. And once he gets the Hood, he's going to be a lot more comfortable jumping into fights like this and just being aggressive. But Tiny's still sitting around the top lane. He did spot Nature's Prophet before. He's going to find him again here. Not very good for mind control.
Yeah, gets the Avatos up, but Drum Charges will help Mushi run away, and the Tree Toss is going to bring it down just to 30 health, and Mushi going to pay the price. 50 seconds he's dead for. Here comes the Hold with the Global Silence. This is the big team fight of Team Liquid. Even when they're down 5k gold, they pack a punch when they group up and play with their ultimates. Ice 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 going back in with the arrow into Starstorm. They take down the Necrophage. He's going to be respawning in a second with that reincarnation here as Moon forced to retreat, silenced up. Does get the leap away though, wants to maybe turn around and help Ice Ice Ice, who is somewhat on his own against 4 heroes, stunned up. He's in all sorts of trouble here. Crystal Maiden just wants to get the hell out of there, but I don't even know if he can do that one. Drops a Freezing Field Miracle. Gonna not get the kill himself. It's Kuro getting a double kill of all things, and oh, he gets a triple!
No
the Arcane
way.
Curse. It just kept whittling away at the Mirana, who just wanted to get a bounty rune. He had 1 charges too.
Was he on cooled? He must have been on cooldown.
I don't
know.
I don't think so. He was running. He'd been running away for a while, but maybe I did not honestly see. So
I do remember his escape. He was pretty low. He had a haste rune. He got out of there. He did have to leap through the Arcane Curse. I mean, that's a lot more than Crow expected. But all of a sudden, he just got real smart. I mean, that was what, 3 kills, 6 more int than he had at the start of the game, making a big difference. The Global Silence was huge there. Although I could blame Mushi a little bit. He went for an Ava before blinking. He didn't go for the Ava-Toss combo. When you do that, it doubles the avalanche damage, but he went Avalanche into Toss afterwards. It gives you more stun duration, but far less damage. And yes, he's ahead, but Nature's Prophet's level 10. He's got a drum, so his HP is okay. If he just goes for the Ava-Toss there, he gets that kill and doesn't die for nothing. So I think that was a little bit of a mistake there by Mushi, and they've also capitalized to get all the other kills. So good fight for Liquid.
Yep. Well, we'll see what Minexi's next move is going to be. They've got these ultimates down. Theoretically, they should want to go fight. Well, Haunt, Global are on cooldown, but it's actually Liquid who are baiting their Necrophos. Very good hero to have in the front line. Immediate swap coming in on Jabs. It's going to pop the heal though, and he's pretty damn tanky with this one. Mushi kind of slightly
off target.
Getting the Avatos, yeah, once more. GH in the front lines, I think realizes he's in a bit of trouble, but actually going to be okay here as Jabs just didn't quite have the impetus damage. Arrow, ooh, barely misses Matu coming in from the side there. Moon hit that one, may have been able to follow that one up, but...
And I think the reason that Mineski is playing a little careful right here is because they took this advantage and they maybe turned it into the wrong items perhaps. Ice Ice opted for a Midas, which kind of reminds me of the last time I saw him do this. It felt he had a really good early game, and then they got kind of in the mid game and it felt a little weak. maybe able to get a Matumba kill here. There's the enchant follow-up.
Yeah. So frostbite into arrow. Ooh, that Reaper almost bringing down the Tiny. He barely gets away. They did throw the global out here, so Mineski can just retreat back off and disengage, but there's a long range swap pulling jabs back in. He's still taking damage over time. The right clicks should be enough. Yep, he goes down, as does Mushi. In deep was G8 to help make sure they could get that kill, and Liquid are just outplaying Mineski right now, it feels like, more than anything. And while this is going on, Spectre's just farming.
Yeah, the Liquid's doing a great job kind of presenting these options for Mineski initiated on, but they're always there to back up their heroes, and at this point they have all the items they need. Matumba Man's got his double hat here, so he's really survivable. Wraith King can't really initiate because all he has is a Midas, and yes, it's going to give him golden experience, but now all of a sudden they've lost all this tempo because of the global silence team fights. If Liquid can take this tier 2 mid as well, it's going to make it a lot harder for Mineski to move around the map and find engagements.
Yep. They're just playing very well around the fact that this Necro is strong. He's just, you know, he's sitting out in front, baiting and saying, come on me guys, I'm a Necro, you're not going to kill me, and I've got these heroes behind me. So even if you go on me, there's a swap save. If needed, there's plenty of backup for him, and hey, even if we lose a hero or two, Spectre's farming. And Spectre has suddenly Hood and Yasha, level 13 as well. This is a hero that gets quite strong just by having all of his spells maxed out, because it just gives you that full dispersion damage as well as Desolate, and suddenly you're quite impactful in a team fight.
Yeah, he's even opting for more Desolate damage from his talent tree too, so he's just all about dealing damage with his team. The squishy heroes on the Liquid side are all getting tanky. Silencer's picked up a Treads and double Bracer, because he knows if I max my raw HP and my enemy Tiny goes for a Blink Dagger, then that means I'm more likely to survive the one-shot combo, and if you can, it completely changes the team fights. So now all those early opportunities that Mineski has have kind of fallen away. Radiant does put a scan on the map, and they're going to spot Mineski's rotation as well, so we'll see if they make a play around this.
Well, Mineski get anything done moving through the top side of the map, smoked up. It doesn't look like they're going to find anyone because of Wood's just general read of the game here, and now
they got wards down at least, that'll help. Yep. But although one of them should be dewarded here, in fact it's already spotted.
It's going to reveal the fact the creep wave would have seen it, so it reveals exactly where they were.
So they got to get there in the next 30 seconds to see if they make it over. But yeah, they'll move as a team. A little scared that the enemy team might be lined up, but at least it should be obvious. Ice isn't there. He's in the mid lane, and he does have a good item coming. He's almost about at Relic Gold, and this is a super solid timing, I would say, for a Wraith King to have this.
Didn't opt for the Blade Mail he initially had queued up, but that seems okay for this game.
Yep.
I think he may even go back for it after like a Radiance Blink Dagger. It's just always such a good item to have on a Wraith King who's frontlining, but
I think it's the right way to go if he goes Midas. Like if he goes Midas into a Blink or something, it feels like if that was the case, he should have just gotten Blink first, because it would have helped them win some of those mid-game team fights where things got bad. Bounty Rune's coming up here, so we'll see if Ice tests this one a little. Yeah, he is.
Could want to fight this one. They're going to throw out the global silence here. Matu in the front lines, being bailed out a bit by that one.
And I think Ice actually kind of started him, but ultimately that was really good for Mineski. One extra death for a global silence, absolutely worth it. And they did use Moonlight Shadow as well. I guess you could argue is a bit of a loss, but considering the way that Ice did that, he goes to stun the hero at the same time that Bounty Runes are up. A lot of teams are doing these 3-man rotations to prep for these team fights, and Mineski actually didn't even have to fully commit there, and they still got a lot of Bounty Runes.
Yeah, they got 3 out of the 4, and they find themselves able to make a move once they get this Radiance while Global is still down. Ice being nice and close to it. Does need to find a target to use his Midas on.
I know, that's hurting me. I gotta look away.
Yeah, I guess he's like, these neutrals are actually dead, and even if you go further down, they're also dead. He needs just a lane creep, but there's 3 Liquid heroes here, so
yeah, somebody must have killed him. So
doesn't want to risk his life for
nothing to turn into gold. He should though.
Yeah, now those neutrals have respawned.
So other core we haven't taken a look at is Moon. He's got a Maelstrom with a Treads, and going pretty typical in terms of talents and stuff like that. BKB afterwards is going to allow him to just kind of hit the backline and do a lot of damage, but usually there's this definitely a little bit of a slow period in the mid game until Rana gets from like item 1 to item 3, where she's good but not the craziest carry. But we'll definitely see some impact in the late game.
It's Prophet just using the ultimate to push out some lanes here, as Mushi will take the mid tier 1. Back down at bottom, Matu doing damage to the tier 1 of Mineski, and likely will turn this into a tower for tower trade. Mineski pretty happy with this. The mid tier 1 tower a bit more important, especially for playing around Roshan, and they don't seem to care too much about this bottom side of the map.
At least not until they get their stuff online. So Radiance shortly up. Global Silence is on cooldown as well. I guess the best benefit, it feels like, of forcing that out is it did force Liquid to be kind of slow with the way they pushed that. They didn't go for a let's dive and engage them. It was more of a we'll just kind of passively hit the tower, and Mineski did the right things to make that slightly delayed while still getting a lot of items on their side. So that'll provided them some cover to now finish the Radiance, and never mind, here comes the swap, and this should be Wraith King's first death. It's gonna be, yep, okay.
We'll get him, but I don't know about the second kill here. We'll see if they've got the tools to do this. He does use the Quelling Blade, but he's still trapped in the Sprout here. Matu has a Reaper. Is the damage screaming up? It looks like it. Miracle comes in with the Horn as well to make sure they can take this fight. He's looking for more. Ninja Boogie does end up getting dusted up here. Miracle Manta out of the Frostbite. Easy kill into the Crystal Maiden as they set themselves up to take a tier 2 tower.
That was really well executed. Reaper Scythe at the perfect time. He does get the Radiance recipe buyout at least, but that's definitely one of the most dangerous things about Bench is you get so out of position with Swap that if you don't see it coming, it's going to be a bad time. So tier 2, and maybe they go high ground as well. I mean, no, they're going to go back and defend because Tiny's taken the tier 2. So good for Mineski at least. They did a great job with their 2 cores. They're already in position. If somebody got ganked, the other 2 were going to be able to push really rapidly, and the 2 that didn't get ganked are the ones that can push the best.
I think definitely I like the strategy behind it, but you don't want to lose your Wraith King at the same time, and that's where I think Liquid, considering they're the ones with the Spectre, they're the ones that are scaling well, are going to be like, well, we just killed their Wraith King while Spectre got involved in 2 kills, and we took a tower. Like, anything that drags the game out and keeps it even is going to favor the team with Spectre right now. Yeah,
that's true. So looks like Mineski is going to maybe try to contest Rush, but it is so gone.
Yeah, Medallion plus Wave of Terror.
And he maxed out his passive too, so bonus damage to everybody up to 30%.
Yeah. His right clicks starting to add up as Spectre, no Radiance queued up anytime soon, has a Manta into Diffusal. More common build we've been seeing, at least the Manta part of this. The Radiance just being prioritized later and later in the game, and it seems to become an item that you can always go back for. There's no rush to get it like there was maybe in the past.
But I do really like his itemization in this game. I mean, you saw it when he went on the Crystal Maiden. CM turns, drops Frostbite, he instantly mantas to remove it, and then there's not really much holding him back from getting those kills. And the purpose of the Diffusal is he's already got Manta. It's not that uncommon of a spec item, definitely not prioritized, but against a Wraith King, until he hits 20, he can be mana burned, and they can kill him without his ulti going off, which is a huge advantage. So a little scary for Ice 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 in the next 10 minutes or so, depending on what this Diffusal timing is. Still got about 2,000 gold to go to finish it though.
Quid is smoking up, looking to take a team fight. They're a little bit maybe too early. The Horn is 15 seconds away, and actually Miracle's going to TP in. I think recognizing that his team may find a fight right away, and they sure as hell are. They're going to go right in on Ice Ice Ice, who does have reincarnation, but he's being swapped out of position. Something you talked about, and Kuro with the Global Silence gets arrowed though before he can use it. If they can kill him quickly, that'd be huge for them, and it looks like they'll succeed in doing so. No global for this fight. The Reaper comes out. They don't get the Reaper kill on the Wraith King, but he still goes down nonetheless, and it's Mind Control kicking out 2. Moon's BKB. He's trapped the Sprout block. What a play from Nature's Prophet, blocking him on the low ground. He couldn't get out. He had no leap charges left, and Mushi in trouble as well. Should be finished off. Miracle getting the kill in it all, as they go hunting for more jabs. Can't get out of the Sprout. 1 or 2 more right clicks. Miracle.
Huge place.
Gets the full team wipe.
And that was the first item pickup from Nature's Prophet as well, rushing a Silver Edge after his Drum of Endurance, and it pays off there. They break off the Untouchable for Enchantress, and they're able to get the kill. And it just seems like they have the right heroes. The Necro has actually been working quite well against the Wraith King. They swap him way out of position, and at that point he's committed, and because he doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet, he can't blink to escape. And then they just do a little bit more damage, and the Reaper Scythe makes his second life feel so worthless.
And that's the really nice thing, is that they can kill him so easily on his first life. Wraith King, he's got 2.2k health, but this Midas Radiance, you're just not that survivable. The Blade Mail doesn't make you that much tankier, but it does kind of deter them from maybe going on you. He's only got that queued up now. The Blink Dagger also, often allows you reincarnate, you can then blink away if you get caught out. So just going for this more offensive build has not paid off at all for Ice Ice Ice.
Yes, at this point it definitely feels a lot like a mistake. They've lost so much opportunity to provide tempo here. They might catch Matoma Man top at least.
But Spirit Vessel charges to reduce the heal, but hey, there's still a Global Silence. Moon goes in with the BKB though. Tries to leap in and finish off Matu, who does have the Ghost Shroud Death Pulse heals. They're going to immediately kill the Crystal Man. They do end up finishing off the Necrophos, but Spectre's in here just cleaning up, takes down the Wraith King with the help of the Diffusal Blade. Didn't have reincarnation anyways. Mind Control does bursts it up. That does allow Moon to get the kill on him, but Moon, out of leap charges, once again in some trouble. Ninja Boogie getting like two-shotted by Miracle, who's got a double damage on Spectre. Wants some more, wants Mushi, but can't quite get it because Mushi has actually salvaged this fight with the help of jabs. These two heroes holding their own, but Miracle, he's a little bit stronger. He's got the Aegis, the Spirit Vessel's going to tick him down low. Mushi just doesn't want to deal with him. Toss him, do something. Get rid of that damn Spectre. He will respawn with the Aegis. Mushi, does he go for another kill? He's going to avalanche and just blink away, it looks like. Dagger's going to chase him down, though. Miracle, I think, is going to dive this one. You can't disjoint that with the Blink Dagger, and Miracle's going in for the fountain. He's got the Diffusal Blade. Where's the buyback? Somebody help Mushi out. He's too late. He's already dead. Moon even bought back for it. Miracle knew, and Mushi did not, apparently. You got to get out. He shouldn't have stuck around. He needed to blink away sooner.
Or he needed to stick closer to the creep wave. That way he could at least try to toss Miracle back. I mean, Miracle's going to still outsmart him a bit with that, most likely pop Manta at the right time to perhaps toss the wrong illusion or something. But yeah, Mineski just on the back foot in that team fight. They kind of had to go for an engagement, but once again, Global Silence was everything here.
Yeah, we'll take another look at this one here. They commit so much on the Necrophos, who does die, but when it takes that long to kill him, and because of the Global Silence, it just let the rest of Liquid swoop on in. Full HP Spectre with double damage. Miracle was just unstoppable here.
And the other core spent all this time going for mind control. Ultimately works out, but eventually it's still a Spectre with an Aegis, and he's going to kill the rest of your team.
Yeah. Zekur on the backlines did get kind of sniped by the Enchantress there, and it's 4 kills going Mineski's way, which on paper isn't terrible, but the context of a Spectre being the lone survivor who completely cleans up and wipes Mineski, I don't think you're too happy.
Yeah, absolutely not. I kind of feel like the fast Spirit Vessel rush from Enchantress was a bit weak, perhaps. Maybe he should have gone more right-click heavy, like Dragonlance or something. Oh, instant kill. What a grab.
2 minutes, he just fought back as well. Kevin, this does not bode well for Mineski.
Yeah, not at all.
A dieback with a Reaper kill is, you know, in SEA you call that Facebook time. That's when you tab out, you get on Facebook, and you know, you go do something else because you're not playing Dota for the next couple of minutes here. Spectre, Miracle, he is playing Dota. He's honing around, he's juking them. He's making all the plays here. Takes down the Wraith King's first life. Didn't quite burn enough mana here as there were mangoes on the Wraith King as well, but he will easily kill him a second time. And Liquid on the high ground are going to look to focus down the tier 3 tower now. Earn charges to heal up Miracle, get him back in fighting shape.
Man, it is not just Necro being effective against Wraith King, it's also the Vengeful Spirit. The fact that he doesn't have any armor items, and he has to deal with Wave of Terror and a Medallion. Even right-clicks kill this guy so fast.
That's where, yeah, the itemization is maybe just being not quite what Mineski needed. Even 3,000 gold on Ice that hasn't been spent. Just seems there's this level of uncertainty about what to do. And Mineski go down. Game 1 going Liquid's way.
Man, Liquid is so good at Dota. That looked like one of those ultra stomp games where the laning stage was a massive deficit, but